Welcome to Sit Down and Pile Drive. I remembered the name for the actual show this time. Now, again, if you didn't see the promotional video we put on the Facebook, my partner in crime, Connor Griffiths, was savagely attacked last night in the backstage area. No one saw the attacker. No one knows what happened. I don't know what happened. El Cactus also doesn't know what happened. It's a mystery. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I swear, by the end of a few sit down and pile drives from now, we may know who did the savage attack on Connor Griffiths. In the meantime, this weekend, I don't know if you heard, was a pretty big weekend for professional wrestling, especially in the New Orleans area. You had Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor. That happened. You had NXT TakeOver New Orleans. That happened. You had Bloodsport. That happened. Joey Janela's Spring Break 2. That happened. And I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a WrestleMania going on. And there was some wrestling that happened in that WrestleMania. Hence the name WrestleMania. And I'm going to get into WrestleMania. I kind of want to run through some of these other cards and some of this other stuff that happened before I start picking pieces at the things about WrestleMania that I liked versus the things I did not like at all. And there are a few, 2 minutes and 45 seconds to be exact, of moments that I did not care for whatsoever, and it really made me mad. Anyway, first off, let's get into some news about that's going on in professional wrestling. Number one, Alberto El Patron is no longer with Impact Wrestling. I'm shocked. I'm just so shocked that Alberto El Patron, guy who goes on Periscope to talk about what a bitch Triple H is and talks about how great he is and how amazing he is, and he's never done anything in the professional wrestling industry outside of wrestle for his dad's promotion. He's the Hispanic Jeff Jarrett. Oh man, I just burned him. If you're a wrestling fan, you know I just burned Alberto El Patron. So the thing about Alberto El Patron is he's fine. He's not a terrible wrestler. He's boring to watch. He's not very interesting. He's just he comes across as a jerk in the ring, and and from all intents and purposes, I'm sorry, if you go online to talk trash about somebody else that you know, and you do it all the time, and you happen to be drunk, and every video starts right after you go, Triple H, you big-nosed pussy. I could beat you any day, you big-nosed pussy. Okay, El Patron, okay. Can't wait for you to go back to WWE and beg Triple H for your job. God. So he no-shows this Lucha Underground versus Impact Wrestling event. He's supposed to be part of this Fatal 4-Way. Phoenix and Penta, I totally saw him live too. I can't believe I almost spaced the name. Versus Austin Aries and Alberto El Patron, and Alberto El Patron does not show up, so they fire him. He's supposed to be in the main event of their pay-per-view. This is how little this guy cares about the wrestling industry. He's supposed to be one of the faces of the new Impact Wrestling. He's supposed to be in the main event of their freaking pay-per-view that's coming up. It's called Redemption. It's supposed to be this pay-per-view showing Impact Wrestling has turned a new leaf, and we're going to see a new Impact Wrestling, an Impact Wrestling that gives a shit. And the first thing Alberto El Patron does with this new Impact Wrestling is go, nah, I don't want any part of that. I'm not going to come to the event. His excuse is he was sick or something. It's weak. It's a weak excuse. Alberto El Patron, I really do not, if you haven't guessed it, I'm not a huge fan of him. And I really do not want to see him go back to the WWE for this very reason. I don't understand Vince McMahon's love affair with this guy. I don't get it. It's very obvious that every time he's been with the WWE, all of the success he has had is because Vince McMahon likes him. He's not a bad wrestler. He's not uncharismatic. He's not bad on the mic. It's just he's nothing special. He's never been anything special from the times I've been watching him, and I've been following him ever since he came to the WWE. I've been following his entire career since then, and it's just a whole bunch of burning bridges, a lot of trash talking on Twitter, a lot of periscoping videos of you drunk shit talking people. And what's next for him? He's planning on retiring in 2 years, and he wants to go back to the WWE? I don't want to see it. Let me know what you think in the comments, people. Personally, I'm over it. I'm over him. I've been over him. I think the shit that went on in his relationship with Paige, I can't comment on it. I can't comment on any of that stuff. All I know is if you're having fights in the airport and the word abuse is being said, red flags are there. WWE wants to avoid a PR nightmare. They will stay the hell away from Alberto Del Rio. And now that he's a free agent, I can see Vince McMahon going, I want that Mexican superstar. I want him. Sure, he's bad. Sure, he called you a pussy, Triple H. Sure, he slapped a guy. But I like him. I like him. Can't help it. Don't want to see him. Probably going to see him. Let's just get it. Let's just breathe. I exist in a world where Alberto El Patron is not wrestling for the WWE. I exist in a world where he's not wrestling for the WWE. Okay. All right. All right. Kumbaya, everybody. And in other news, we're going to talk about WrestleMania, but if you saw the end, Brock Lesnar won? What? He's leaving. He was leaving for the UFC. And Roman Reigns, who I did not want to see win the title, was going to win the title. But at least it was no longer going to be held by I show up when I feel like it, Brock Lesnar. It was going to be I'm not that great Roman Reigns, but at least it would be I give a shit Roman Reigns. But Brock Lesnar won in a real bad match, a garbage dumpster fire match. He won. He got the title. He is the champion still. And now he is re-signed with the WWE. Why? Why, Brock? You don't want to be here. We don't want you to be here. And yet you're still with the WWE? I don't understand it. He is signed. I'm looking up the contract right now. He's going to defend the title again against Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia at their greatest Royal Rumble ever, where they have 50 people in the ring. He's going to defend it against Roman Reigns. And hell, I'll say it. Brock Lesnar is never going to lose that title. They're going to have to make a title just so someone else can be world champion on Raw. It's frustrating. When Brock Lesnar first came back in 2012, I thought it was great. I thought they booked him terribly because his first match back, he loses against John Cena. In an Extreme Rules match, the legit UFC fighter, the guy who is trained to actually beat the shit out of people and has a very good record of doing it, loses to the hustle, loyalty, and respect guy who is not a real fighter, who is just a really good professional wrestler. This really good professional wrestler somehow beats the real fighter in an Extreme Rules match. This is his first match back in the WWE. This is Brock Lesnar's returning match as he loses to John Cena. And then he breaks Triple H's arm at SummerSlam, and then WrestleMania 29 comes around, and Brock Lesnar loses to Triple H. You have the biggest athlete in the world, and you're making him lose to people he could legitimately hurt. Okay. So when Brock Lesnar re-signs at WrestleMania 31, I was like, good. And maybe they're going to treat him well. And they did, because they put the title. Oh, man. Brock Lesnar became the most dominant guy on the entire WWE roster, and he shows up 5 times a year. He's the most dominant guy on the roster. They put the title on him. He beats Goldberg at WrestleMania 33, and then he shows up, I think maybe like 6 times. 6 times in the last year he's defended the title. And he's killed every other superstar. He's killed their momentum completely. I remember watching the Samoa Joe match he had, and Samoa Joe was fucking him up, and it was awesome. And then boom, 1 F5 done. Braun Strowman destroys him. Boom, 1 F5 done. Fucking AJ Styles, this was a great match. I'm not going to take anything away from it. AJ Styles is throwing 450s and Hurricane Ranas, and he's flying all over the ring. 1 F5, boom, done. So obviously the storyline for Brock Lesnar is he's going to go against Roman Reigns. He's going to hit an F5. Roman Reigns kicks out. No, 1 F5, done. Brock Lesnar is still Universal Champion, and now he's not going to lose the title for the foreseeable future. I'm going to be 65 years old, and Brock Lesnar will still be Universal Champion because he only has to work 5 days a year, and he gets paid millions of dollars because he's Brock fucking Lesnar. This was WrestleMania 34, a WrestleMania of hope and change and new beginnings, and Brock Lesnar is still Universal Champion, and he's still a WWE superstar. And now, probably only going to see him 3 times a year. SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. There you go. I'm Brock Lesnar. I'm going to go back to my farm. Sable, she's my wife. I'm going to look at my land. And then I'm gonna go, hey Dana White, I wanna fight one of your shitty fighters in the UFC. You're gonna pay me billions of dollars. You're probably only gonna see what, like 15 grand this year, because no one wants to see the UFC anymore. Because Conor McGregor's a fuck. Yeah, I said it. Ronda Rousey's now a WWE superstar. Holly Holm can't win any fights. You don't have a face of your company anymore, Dana White. So let me, Brock Lesnar, come around every so often, fight one of the bottom tier heavyweights. I'm going to do a whole bunch of steroids before I show up to the fight. I'm not going to win by defeating the guy. I'm just going to win because technically I scored the most in the rounds. I'm Brock Lesnar. I do what I want. Nothing matters. Fuck it. So Brock Lesnar is still with the WWE. Good for him. I already talked about Alberto El Patron. Now, right now, in good news, WWE Raw is happening. I'm doing my podcast because I don't, whatever. I'm going head to head. It's the Monday Night Wars all over again. It's Monday Night Raw and Sit Down and Pile Drive. And I'm gonna pull an Eric Bischoff and tell you right now what's happening on WWE Raw. First off, Ember Moon just made her main roster debut. I think that's good for her. I think it's awesome. She just lost her title to Shayna Baszler. Here's my problem with Ember Moon's debut. I want to believe that it's going to work. Ember Moon kind of falls under that Randy Orton territory with me where, while I don't dislike her as much as I genuinely do not care for Randy Orton, because I do not. Ember Moon, I don't know anything about her. I don't know who she is. I don't know her personality. She's like wolfy and she's fiery and she's like mystic in a way, but she's very normal at the same time. Who's Ember Moon? All I know is her finisher is amazing to look at, but I feel like it leaves just this much room to fuck it up before you're really hurting somebody. If you've never seen the Eclipse, what it is she gets on the turnbuckle, she jumps off the turnbuckle, and then she hits you with a stunner, and it's really cool to see. It's really cool to see. Look it up. It's really awesome. After this, make sure you stay on my podcast. Don't you go to YouTube right now. I'm talking. Pay attention. I just ranted about Brock Lesnar for like 10 minutes. This is captivating television. So Ember Moon's on Raw now. Probably, I don't know what they're going to do with her on Raw. Thank God there's a superstar shakeup coming around. Probably put her on SmackDown where, because, let's see. Who's on Raw right now? You've got Sasha Banks. She's important. You've got Bayley. She's important. You've got Asuka. She's important. You've got Nia Jax. She's important. You have Alexa Bliss. She's important. Oh, and you've got Ronda motherfucking Rousey, who has to be the face of your women's division after she's done with whatever she's doing with Stephanie McMahon and all of them. You need to focus on Ronda Rousey. So the fact that Ember Moon just showed up on Raw, okay. All right, Ember Moon. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with you, but hopefully it's something interesting. And another WWE NXT superstar just made his WWE main roster debut. And this one, I really don't know what to make of it. If you aren't familiar with NXT, there's a guy. I think he's Cuban or something. He's got a big old afro. And his name is No Way Jose. That's right. Someone in the WWE was like, we need a wrestler named No Way Jose. He's great. I don't mean to take away from him. He is an awesome wrestler. He's got a great finisher. He's charismatic. He does a little dance when he walks to the ring. He's really exciting, but no way, Jose. Let me tell you a little anecdote. One of WWE, if you've ever watched anything where they talk about WCW, they love to bitch about certain specific things about WCW. And one of the things they love to bitch about is one of the old WCW presidents, Jim Herd. Jim Herd had the idea of a tag team called Ding and Dong. That's right, that legitimately happened. So when I think of Ding and Dong, I can't help but think of No Way Jose, where it's just some bigwig, Vince McMahon, had this real clever idea. And who in that meeting room is going to tell him? Vince. You want to name a wrestler No Way Jose? Yeah. I don't think that's a good... Shut up, you're fired. That's how that meeting went. No Way Jose is a wrestler. I think it's good. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with him. They didn't do anything with him really in NXT. But good for him. You know, good for him. I'm glad he's on the main roster. He deserves it. God, that's a waste. He should be on SmackDown with Breezango, but that story's for another day. So that's what's going on in wrestling news right now. Some stuff that's very irritating. Brock Lesnar. One more. Everybody, every wrestling fan with me, just no. Of all the people, of all the times, no. Alberto El Patron probably going to show up. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it at all. I don't want to see Del Rio. If he comes out with Ricardo Rodriguez, I'm still going to be like, no, Ricardo, introduce a better wrestler. But not Rob Van Dam. That made no sense. Now, some wrestling pay-per-views happened this weekend, and I'm going to talk to you about most of them. I didn't see Bloodsport, Matt Riddle's Bloodsport. If you've never seen it, I didn't see it. From what I heard, it wasn't particularly exciting. New Orleans kind of snipped the balls off of any independent wrestling promotion show this weekend. They banned pile drivers, power bombs, blood, any shots to the head. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, I have a guest here and she's giving me a look. Let me tell you something about Joey Janela's Spring Break 2, because I watched it. Every match kind of just ended with this, huh? Because they can't have like these big finishes. It was like, so that's the move that put him away? Okay, cool. Wrestling is the most subjective art form there is. It's real hard to complain about wrestling. The ending made no sense. Yeah, but was the match good? It was fine. No, there's a legit match. Let me tell you. Okay, so I was looking forward to Mike Quackenbush versus David Starr. I was like, that sounds like the best match I've ever seen. The ending of the match, and it was like a slow paced match for a little bit. Mike Quackenbush can't wrestle like he used to in Chikara. Dave Starr he's so good. But on paper, it's like this is like a 5-star match that's waiting to happen on Joey Janela's Spring Break 2. At the end of the match, Dave Quackenbush kicks David Starr in the arm. David Starr turns around, hits a clothesline. 1, 2, 3. David Starr wins. That's the sequence. That's the sequence that ends the match. And again, these tiny independent shows, it's fine. It is what it is. It was just weird. It was just weird. Every match ended seemingly abruptly, and the great Sasuke and Joey Janela at the very end of their match, and great Sasuke got fucked up. I mean, my friend commented, because there were times where wrestlers were like legitimately hurt, and I would say something, and he was like, he was like, does that freak you out? I'm like, no, it's just interesting to see when a wrestler is like legit hurt. So at the end of this match, and I'll tell you what spot did it. There's a spot where the great Sasuke props Joey Janela on this table. And it's not a WWE table where it was pre-broke and they put it back together. It is a table where the only way to break the table is to put the guy as hard as you can through the table. And if the table doesn't break, the table doesn't break. So the great Sasuke props Joey Janela on this already pretty warped table. And he's going to do this diving move from the ring onto Joey Janela on the table. Joey Janela gets out of the way, and great Sasuke, I'm sorry. He does not hit that table. You're going to have to show me some camera angle where he hits the table, because I firmly believe I just watched a man hit concrete as hard as he could. And the rest of the match, he's just like this the whole time because he definitely busted his ribs. So the match ends. Joey Janela goes over. He cuts a promo on the fans because some of the fans immediately got up as soon as the match ended. Because it's New Orleans, so doing the math in my head, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. I want to go home. So he cuts a promo where he tells the fans, you just watched one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and you need to motherfucking respect that. And the fans who are still there are like, yeah! So it ends with Joey Janela and the great Sasuke singing fucking It's My Life by Bon Jovi. The whole song. They do, because, it's Japan. Karaoke's big in Japan. And the great Sasuke sings. They legit just do karaoke to end this wrestling pay-per-view. And sadly enough, best part of the night. Besides seeing my future wife, Session Moth Martina, who is great. I love her. She's an awesome wrestler. Her gimmick is fantastic. I'm in love with her because I respect what she does. Besides her showing up and doing some stuff and the Invisible Man winning, not the best pay-per-view I've ever seen. So that's some of the little independent promotions. Check them out. You got to go on Fight to get them. It's a whole effort to watch independent wrestling, but you should, because it's where you get these new stars. It's where you get the Kevin Owens and you get the Sami Zayns and you get the AJ Styles and you get the Daniel Bryans. You got to support independent wrestling. You have to. If you want to be a wrestling fan and you're like, oh, I just watched WWE, fuck you, you're not a wrestling fan. You're just like the Beatles. All right. So first up, Super Card of Honor, Ring of Honor's big show. Happened in New Orleans. It happened the same night as NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Like, Ring of Honor and NXT featuring former Ring of Honor went head to head. And both shows were amazing. Both shows had their highs and lows. And we're going to talk about it. First off, Super Card of Honor 12, if my Roman numeral facts are correct, and XII means 12. I'm gonna assume it does. No one correct me. I don't want to be corrected. I'm gonna go through my whole life thinking XII means 12. So you got the Women of Honor tournament. I'm getting the thumbs up. XII means 12. All right, I am the smartest person in the world. No one is smarter than me. So you had the big Women of Honor tournament, which is exciting for women's wrestling, that we exist in a world where people want to give a shit about women's wrestling. So Ring of Honor did this whole tournament featuring independent women's wrestlers. And the finals that we're going to crown the new Woman of Honor. She is Ultimate Woman. The final match saw Sumi Sakai versus Tennille Dashwood, who formerly known as Emma, if you know WWE. And it saw Sumi Sakai win. It's Japanese. I feel like you guys should be glad that I didn't just go the Japanese one. I put in the effort. It shows I care. That's what is important. So she won the title. Everybody was super happy. Awesome. And then Kelly Klein turned heel and gave her a forearm to the face. So we're probably going to see a feud between Sakai and Klein going forward in Ring of Honor. Next up, we had Chuck Taylor, or Chucky T, versus Jonathan Gresham. It was, if you've never seen a Chuck Taylor match, Chuck Taylor is probably one of the most underrated wrestlers on the independent. He's been wrestling for a very long time. He like, before I got super into independent wrestling, I still knew who Chuck Taylor was. He's super funny. He's a super funny wrestler, especially during matches. He's able to put comedy into the storyline. He says motherfucker more than I do. And I'll never forget, he had a match with Ricochet. He took the top turnbuckles off of he took it all off. So there was no top turnbuckle. Ricochet is a high flying wrestler, and he took away during the match, he just grabs a screwdriver and he just takes off all of the top turnbuckle, and then he was like, "Try doing your flippy shit now, motherfucker," which, great trash talk, top trash talk from Chuck Taylor. I don't know a whole lot about Jonathan Gresham. I kind of follow Ring of Honor. I follow it because I need to, but I don't really like. All of the guys who made Ring of Honor are in the WWE. And then there's CM Punk, who will never wrestle again. So I'm having to get used to all of these new Ring of Honor wrestlers and all of these new Ring of Honor personalities. And it's kind of hard because a lot of them aren't that great. Yeah, I said it. Fight me. Jonathan Gresham won. He got an inside cradle on Chuck Taylor. Some good stuff from Chuck Taylor during this match with Trent Beretta. If you're not following their storyline, he turned on him and he's pretending to be his friend, and it's some funny stuff. It's pretty exciting. So Jonathan Gresham won that match, and then you got Punishment Martinez versus Tomohiro Ishii. Yeah, I liked that one. That Ishii felt right. Ishii's a big, scary motherfucker. He is huge and he is mean, and he seems like he would just hurt you with like a flick. If he flicked you, it would hurt. Punishment Martinez won. He beat him. He beat Tomohiro Ishii. A lot of stiff hits. A lot of just punishment. A lot of hitting each other, because that's what wrestling is. It's a fight. Can't do all the moves, but Ishii hits him in the throat. It was again, Ishii's amazing. I'm not doing a great. Make sure you guys you guys got to watch the match. I'm just here to recap. Don't come to me to give you a play-by-play. You need to go to ringofhonor.com. You need to get the information on where to get their pay-per-views, and that's how you need to watch it. Don't come to me trying to watch it through me. I'm not going to do a great, unless I drew you a picture, I'm not going to be able to draw you a great picture. But the point is, Punishment Martinez, he got the 1, 2, 3. He's now the winner of that match. Pretty exciting stuff. Then we got Adam Page versus Kota Ibushi. You know what? Action. Adam Page versus Kota Ibushi. There we go. Took the long way around, but I got there with Ibushi. The problem was Ishii. Ishii was so real. It was so like, that's exactly how you pronounce it. Tomohiro Ishii, yes. And then Ibushi, I'm like, blah. No. Kota Ibushi, see, got it, is an amazing wrestler. If you've never seen him wrestle, you have to. He's psychotic. He throws himself into every move he does, to the point where it's like, I feel like I'm about to watch Ibushi kill himself trying to do an elbow drop. He's going to throw his elbow through the guy. He's going to cave the dude's chest in with the elbow. That's how real Ibushi is. And he's so pretty. He's a very pretty man. Look him up. I'm telling my guests and everybody, all the producers, to look up how gorgeous.
You barely pronounced it.
I got it the second time. Okay. So, and if you've never, Adam Page, I feel like we're like this year and then next year, we're going to see Adam Page really step into the main event picture of Ring of Honor, of New Japan. He is killing it. He's knocking it out of the park. You know what you hear after every Adam Page match? Wow, how good was that match? A lot of crazy spots. And I mean, the only thing that would get in the way of Adam Page doing crazy stuff, he's pretty, right? He's a pretty, yeah. My producers give, like, I think she, yeah.
Okay, I know I spelled this shit wrong. Hold on. Oh, damn.
So Kota Ibushi.
I know, right?
See, he's a pretty guy. He's pretty. So I mean, like I'm telling you, if you like your Pele kicks, your suicide dives, your pile drivers, and any move that goes, oh man, he probably hurt his neck just now. If you like those moves, there were plenty in this Kota Ibushi Adam Page match. At the end, Kota Ibushi won with 2 straight jacket suplexes and then a big knee to the face, and he probably fucking need Adam Page in the face. There was no, I'm going to put my hand up and catch your knee. It was Yep, that's what a knee feels like. By the way, totally wrong. We did get that Kelly Klein Sumi Sakai match, and Sumi Sakai is Ring of Honor Woman of Honor Championship. Got that out of the way, corrected myself. Live television is hard, guys. Okay? It is not always easy, and sometimes I don't have time to watch every fucking match that's on every fucking pay-per-view. I don't know why I'm being so defensive, chat. I can't even see if you guys are coming at me right now. If you're not coming at me, awesome. I'm sorry I got so heated. It's just, I miss my partner. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, El Cactus. You're a good guy. You've done wonders for this podcast already. Your input has been appreciated this entire time. But you're no Connor Griffiths yet. But in time, we will get there. The Prickly Pears will be the best tag team in all of the world. I believe it. Next up, SoCal Uncensored took on the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. Of all people, Flip Gordon. If you're not watching Being the Elite, it makes no sense to you. But if you are watching Being the Elite, it makes total sense. SoCal Uncensored, it's a great tag team. Scorpio Sky is going to do a lot of great things, and Kazarian and Christopher Daniels will go down as some of the best independent wrestlers in the entire in history. It's sad that Christopher Daniels never really got the chance to show the WWE what he had. It's sad, but at the same time, you know, Christopher Daniels, I don't think Christopher Daniels is going to look back on his career with regret. Otherwise, he would have tried to get to the WWE. He would have been in the WWE by now if he was that style. Anyway, SoCal Uncensored won the 6-man tag team championships from the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. That's exciting. Good for them. That's awesome. And then after the match, Matt Taven smacked Christopher Daniels with the title, so we're probably going to see The Kingdom versus SoCal Uncensored after this. Next up, we had Brian Milonas and Beer City Bruiser versus the Motor City Machine Guns and Luke and PJ Hawks. Beer City Bruiser and Brian Milonas won. I mean, if you've never seen the Motor City Machine Guns, check them out. They're one of the greatest tag teams I've ever seen. They're really awesome. Not super into the Beer City Bruiser. He's fine. He's not great, but he's fine. It's Beer City Bruiser. Like, it's not exciting. Like, okay, cool. Ring of Honor should be technical wrestling, and you bring in the Beer City Bruiser. Awesome. Can't wait to see a bunch of blood. Next up, we had the Briscoes take on Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yeah, I'm back. That Ibushi thing tripped me up, but Tanahashi. One more time. Tanahashi. He's also a very pretty man. Producer, if you want to look him up, Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's gorgeous. The Briscoes, on the other hand, are the exact... Look up the Briscoes. Look up the Briscoes. Exact opposite of gorgeous. They are gross. They are gross from fucking Delaware. Mountain chicken farm running dudes who are legit and terrifying and amazing. Great. They are fantastic wrestlers. This match was awesome. I love the Briscoes. I love Jay Lethal. I love Tanahashi. You put all 4 of them in the ring together and you just create magic. The Briscoes won. The Briscoes are, you know, doing their 40th heel run. Cause no, you don't like Tanahashi? Look up Okada. What? He's gorgeous.
You know, I love that you are so comfortable in your.
Hey, if a man's gorgeous, I'm not gonna look away. All right. If there's a gorgeous man, I'm gonna go, geez, dude.
Confident. I like it.
You know, what? So girls are the only people allowed to be drunk in a bar and go, oh my God, I love your hair. You're so beautiful. No, guys should be allowed drunk in a bar to go, hey man, you look really good. I've had a few IPAs and I'm just wanting you to know that. I think we could do that. I'm getting sidetracked. Stop it. Bad guest already. So the
Pile Drive was filmed before a live studio audience.
So the Briscoes beat Jay Lethal and the very gorgeous Tanahashi, regardless of what the Peanut Gallery thinks. And then Austin Aries came out. He said that he wants to face whoever wins the TV championship match, which was Kenny King taking on Silas Young, who is gross. If we're talking about wrestlers' physical appearance, Silas Young is a very gross man. It was pretty goddamn brutal match. If you haven't seen like a last man standing match, Silas Young is not gonna disappoint you. And yeah, he's a gross man. He's a gross man. I have found when Griff's not here because he was savagely attacked backstage by an unknown assailant. I found my new gimmick of just this wrestler's pretty. Look him up. That's how you get people into wrestling, through their pants.
Sit on my face and pile up.
Only if you ask nicely. So Silas Young wins he defeated Kenny King. He knocked out Kenny King, and Silas Young is now your ROH World TV Champion. So we are going to see Austin Aries, whose gimmick sidebar. Cut to me, camera, sidebar. I love Austin Aries. I do. I think he's a legitimately great wrestler. I think he's a legitimately entertaining personality. He is a very charming person. I think this belt collector storyline where he goes to wrestling promotion after wrestling promotion after wrestling promotion and goes, I want your belt, is the most, that's a Brock Lesnar style storyline. Where, of course, Austin Aries gets to go into this tiny little independent wrestling promotion and go, I want to be your champion, make me your champion right now. And then I'll go on some other wrestling promotion and go, I want your title, give me your title. And then I'll do it to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And while he shows up on Impact Wrestling with your championship, he's not talking about your championship. He's talking about wanting the Impact Championship, just coincidentally holding your championship. Okay, sidebar done. So Austin Aries is going to take on Silas Young for the TV championship. Should be a pretty exciting match. Again, I love Austin Aries. I know I just went to my sidebar to complain, but Austin Aries is a great wrestler. And Silas Young is entertaining. And I want to see what they do. Then we got Cheeseburger and Eli Isom. Look up Cheeseburger. Yeah, versus the Dogs. And the match does not start because the Dogs come out and they beat up everybody. And then Bully Ray, formerly Bubba Ray, now a WWE Hall of Famer as of Saturday. Was it no, Friday? Friday. It was Friday. I'm tired. I've watched a lot of wrestling this weekend. Comes out, tells Cheeseburger that if he can't find a partner, he'll be his partner. So then we have Cheeseburger and Bully Ray taking on the Dogs. Now, the match does not really start. There's some punches, some chops. Bully Ray hits a body slam. They do the wazop headbutt from the top rope. And then, Bully Ray does the Dudley spot where he tells Cheeseburger to get out a table. Cheeseburger gets out the table, and they're going to hit a 3D. Wrong! Bully Ray chokeslams Cheeseburger through the table. And then he cuts a promo about how he doesn't like these guys doing the flippy flips and the high-flying moves, and he's saying they're destroying the Bully Ray promo that he's been cutting ever since he discovered the Bully Ray character of, I don't like you high flyers. You're ruining wrestling. Coming from the guy whose entire career, Bubba Ray is a great wrestler with a great wrestling mind, and the Dudleys will go down as the greatest tag team in history. But they came from Extreme Championship Wrestling, and their whole thing was, we're going to put you through a flaming table. Our matches are going to be bloody and violent. I'm going to hit you with chairs and cheese graters. It happened. I'll show you that match. A cheese grater legitimately gets used in a lot of their matches. So I'm sorry. I know it's storyline. I know Bully Ray doesn't really feel this way. But for Bully Ray to talk about people ruining wrestling is just this, all right, okay, sure, whatever. So the CEO of ROH comes out to go, "What are you doing, Bully?" Bully cuts a promo, calls him an old bastard, saying that the wrestling business sucks because of ROH and the people that ROH signs. And then he goes, "Do you know who I am? I'm Bully Ray. I'm a WWE Hall of Famer." He name drops WWE at an ROH pay-per-view, and then he powerbombs Cheeseburger, and then he gets the fuck out of there. And that was that match. Next up, one of the selling points of this pay-per-view, and a match I was particularly looking forward to, we had Cody, formerly Stardust, formerly the future Cody Rhodes, formerly the dashing one Cody Rhodes, taking on Kenny Omega, who is arguably the best wrestler in the industry today, not named Okada. Griff's not here. Someone savagely attacked him backstage. I can say it. Okada's better than Omega, and I'm gonna say it. Hey, cut to El Cactus. You and I are tag team now. You don't tell Connor what I said about Okada, and I don't tell him about who attacked him backstage, huh? Not that we know. So Cody takes on Kenny Omega. It's a grudge match. There's nothing, nothing's at stake. It's just a grudge match. The match ends when the Young Bucks come out, because if you watch Being the Elite, which you need to watch to follow, you've got to go on YouTube to follow these storylines. Oh my God. And I do. I'm a Mark, El Cactus. I'm a Mark. I don't want to be a Mark, but I am a Mark. Thank you, El Cactus. That meant a lot. Anyway, so the Young Bucks come out. They're not really trusting Cody right now, so they're going to come out and they're going to cost him the match against Omega. They go to do a twin super kick. Cody gets out of the way, and then they accidentally hit their best friend, Kenny Omega, in the face with their twin super kicks, taking him out. Cody gets the pin. 1, 2, 3, the dashing one, the American Nightmare, the bleached blonde badass. He wins. He beats Kenny Omega. He beat the best wrestler not named Okada. What? What is going on? Storylines, that's what's going on. So where do we go from here? Kenny Omega gets up. He's super pissed off that the Young Bucks just cost him his match. They try to help him up. He shoves them away, and he gets out of there, probably to go back to Kota Ibushi. There we go. That's third. That's the third time I've said it right. I'm going to stop bringing it up so they can talk about Golden Lover stuff. I don't know where we go from there with this match. Obviously, at All In, I imagine they'll have a blow-off match or something. It'll probably be a New Japan show. I don't know. El Cactus, when's the next New Japan show? What do you mean you don't follow New Japan? You only watch Impact? I need a new partner. El Cactus didn't work out. Find out next week what happened to my new partner. All right, so final match of ROH World Championships Super Card of Honor is for the ROH World Championship. And it's Dalton Castle, the champion. If you've never seen Dalton Castle, he is a super interesting wrestler. He's kind of a throwback to glam rock. He's kind of androgynous in a lot of ways. He's awesome. His finisher is exciting to watch. Takes on the villain, Marty Scurll, who is just great. Hold on. I need to take a second. Reflect on how awesome Marty Scurll is with his beard and his hair and his umbrella and his glasses and his look. The villain's awesome. He's a great technical wrestler. His finisher's amazing. I love, what a match to watch. Anyway, a lot of back and forth, a lot of just brutal, just Marty Scurll stomping the shit out of Dalton Castle's neck so he can do the chicken wing, trying to break his arm. Scurll gets accused a lot of being a comedy wrestler, and I think because his gimmick allows him to be kind of silly. But when he wants to be a very bad guy, he can turn it on like that. And I think it's very exciting. I think it's very refreshing that there's a character like that who can go back and forth and still be taken seriously in either capacity. I'm not crazy about comedy wrestling. I don't like it. I enjoy it when it's sprinkled in. But if a wrestler's just a comedy wrestler, I find it hard to get invested in that. I really do. I like the Invisible Man, but it's dumb. If GCW was like, we're gonna put Invisible Man in a title shot, I don't want to see that. That's dumb. That's real dumb. Like Shawn Michaels taking on Triple H versus Triple H and Shane McMahon with God in his corner. Stupid. That's stupid, and I can't suspend my disbelief that much. But I can believe that a dead man rises from the grave and wants to wrestle. I can believe that, but I can't believe that an invisible man can fight for a world championship. I guess I just pick and choose what I want to believe in. Sounds like a certain political party that won't be named, because this is a wrestling podcast and not a politics podcast. Anyway, Dalton Castle gets the win with the bangarang, gets the 1-2-3 on Marty Scurll, and that's how we close out Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. I am happy that Ring of Honor is investing their time in Dalton Castle. I firmly believe that the best way to get a champion over as your champion is to hold the title on them for as long as possible. The only time Impact Wrestling ever made people is when they invested in them. Bobby Roode held the Impact Championship for an entire year, and that's why Bobby Roode is in the WWE. If you do not invest in a star, they will not be a star. You can't do that. So the fact that Ring of Honor is finally taking the time to put their heavyweight championship on one of their biggest stars right now, Dalton Castle, because let's face it, guys, Ring of Honor is kind of in a dark period right now. A lot of their wrestlers that they're using are coming from New Japan and then the Kingdom. That's it. It's the Kingdom, Dalton Castle, Jay Lethal, and then everybody else is who can we get from New Japan. And it's good that they have this partnership. It's good for Ring of Honor. But at some point, I mean, like, Ring of Honor had Samoa Joe, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Austin Aries. I just burped. Cesaro. Fucking Cassius Ohno, formerly Chris Hero. You had all of these names, and now you don't, like, these names are with the WWE, and a lot of them are in NXT. Which brings me to the NXT TakeOver event, which is always a blast. I love the takeovers are always so good, and they always come before a really bland WWE pay-per-view. But we'll talk about that in a second, guys. We'll talk about that in a second. So the NXT TakeOver show happened in New Orleans because WrestleMania was in New Orleans, and shit, traveling is bullshit, guys. You ever try traveling? It's a pain in the ass. Ooh, Paige just announced her retirement on Raw. So Paige finally, okay, all right, that was legit. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. I'll talk about it right now, actually. So for those of you who aren't in the know, Paige is she's a wrestler in the WWE. She's kind of gothy British chick. She's pale as shit. She's a really great wrestler. She was out for like a year or so with a neck injury. She came back she had the worst year you could possibly have as a human being. She got suspended twice from the WWE. She was in this up and down chaotic relationship with Alberto El Patron. I've said his name too many times. Too many times in my podcast have I had to say that guy's name. Anyway, so she had some explicit photos and videos that she took. It's icky. It's icky. When you talk about icky things, you have to do this because it makes it okay. So she had some explicit videos and photos of her leaked onto the internet by somebody who will not be named Brad Maddox because he totally did it. So that happened. So now she's having to deal with the fact that her nudes are all over the internet. And she's suspended from the WWE. And her boyfriend is constantly on the internet talking shit about the company she still technically works for. She doesn't know if she's ever going to be back. So she comes back and the crowd eats it up. The crowd is going crazy. She's got this new heel stable behind her, and it seems like Paige is going to be in the main event picture for years to come. She has a house show with Sasha Banks and Bayley. Sasha Banks kicks her in the back. Paige goes down, can't get back up. She can't get back up. She's not selling. She legitimately can't move her arms. The doctors take her backstage, and it's the reports on the internet were she had to retire. She's 24 years old. She's been wrestling since she was 12, and she has to retire from wrestling because of a neck injury. They didn't do anything. So the next time she's on Raw, we expect her to come out and announce that she's retiring. She's not going to wrestle anymore. They don't do it. She doesn't announce her retirement. The next week we're waiting. Doesn't happen. She's just coming out with her stable, cutting a promo, letting her stable do all the work. And we're all kind of going, what's going on? Is she going to retire or not? Now, I mean, she doesn't necessarily have to announce her retirement. Steve Austin never had that moment. His last match was against The Rock. He went backstage. We never saw him again. There was no, yeah, I'm done wrestling. Not going to do it anymore, dumb son of a bitch. Not going to do it. The Rock never really had that moment where he was like, yeah, I'm not going to wrestle anymore, you pie-eating jabronis. So, I mean, wrestlers don't necessarily need to announce that they're no longer going to wrestle. But at the same time, like, we're so programmed into the internet that it's hard to do that because we're all just like, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? We don't have to do it. So she just did it. I didn't see it happen, so I can't really comment on it. But Paige is officially retired from the from WWE. I don't know. Oh no. I can't play it because of the audio, but she says, I want to thank Daniel Bryan. He had his first match back at WrestleMania, and for that, you give me hope. Oh, okay. All right. This is making me sad. Got to get away from it. I will say Bobby Lashley is now back on Raw. If you have no idea who Bobby Lashley is, he is Diet Brock Lesnar. All of the fun of Brock Lesnar with half the calories, and he's black. You can say it. You told me I can say it.
It's true, I did.
And he is. But he's back. He's very good. I wonder how it's going to work out with Bellator now that he's now in WWE. Oh, well, we'll get there. So Paige is officially retired, and Bobby Lashley is officially back with the WWE. Awesome. Now, NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Did I seriously? I did actually exit out of that. Connor, you beautiful man. You big, beautiful man. I love you so much. We're going to let it load. There we go. We're back. All right. NXT TakeOver New Orleans. If you've never seen a TakeOver event, they're always exciting. I mean, you've got the biggest names from the independent scene all under this WWE roof. It's ridiculous. It's surreal. This first match is a ladder match, a 6-man ladder match for the NXT North American title. They just announced this title. You have EC3, Ethan Carter III, who was originally Derek Bateman in WWE's developmental, left because he had something to prove. Fucking proved it, by the way. And now he's back as the gimmick he created in Impact Wrestling because he got so over with it and he got so into that character, and that character is so good that he gets to come back to the developmental program that named him Derek Bateman and go, no, I want to be Ethan Carter III. I want to be EC3. And they went, yeah, absolutely. Goddamn EC3. I love him. He's great. He's like that douchebag rich guy, like that rich jock guy. That's his gimmick. It's exciting. Taking on Killian Dane, formerly Big Damo, who's just this big, hairy, Viking-looking motherfucker from Ireland, and he's big and he's scary and he can do a coast-to-coast That's right. He can do the Rob Van Daminator. It's exciting. It's a fucking... Okay, so I'm going to tell my guest here. A Van Daminator is where... So I put you on this side of the ring, and then I go to this side of the ring, and I get up on the second turnbuckle, and then I jump from this side of the ring all the way to your side of the ring, and I kick you in the face as hard as I can. In the air. And so Killian Dane, this 300-something pound, big, burly, Irish-looking Viking dude, just does that move. He just does it. He can do it. Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, who I think wrestled for the Independents, his Dylan Smiley, I'm not sure. I know that I believe he is mostly NXT. I can look it up right now, but I'm not going to. Because I don't owe you everything. But he's also very big and very scary looking, and he's awesome. Lars Sullivan, so EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, who is the best high flyer in the business today. That dude can literally just stand. He's just standing here and just do a backflip, and you wouldn't even see his feet leave the ground. And it's like, did you just do a backflip? Yeah, I did a backflip. I'm Ricochet. Oh my God. Adam Cole, who is one of the most charismatic wrestlers in the industry today, a great storyteller. I mean, all you got to do is go, Adam Cole, baby, and then do this, and people go ape shit. Adam Cole's amazing. And the Velvet guest, because you don't have your name until you're on screen. Guest, I need you to look up the Velveteen Dream. The Velveteen Dream might be the next best thing in professional wrestling. His gimmick is so out there. He does it so well. He is so fucking athletic. His matches tell such a great story just by his entrance.
He looks like a Street Fighter DLC character.
Yeah. You can't handle it. Yeah, he's supposed to look like Prince.
Okay.
And he pulls it. And oh, by the way, guest, he pulls it off. And I would know. I'd be the first person. As a Prince fan, I'd be the first person to go, that's not Prince. Prince wouldn't do that. Saw him do some stuff, saw him cut one promo and went, oh yeah, that's Prince. I can't say enough good things about Velveteen Dream. I think Ibushi just got replaced. Sorry, Ibushi. At least I've said your name 5 times correctly. So, I mean, this match is all over. It's chaotic ladders. People are getting hurt. People are getting thrown through ladders. People are getting put through ladders. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. Ricochet's just jumping off of everything. If it exists, he jumped off of it. Oh, my God. And at the very end of the match, what we see is Ricochet coming up. He's going to get that title, and everyone's going to finally get to see Ricochet as a champion in WWE. No! Adam Cole comes up. He kicks Ricochet off the ladder. He climbs up the ladder, and he takes the title. Adam Cole is your new and first North American champion, and he deserved it. And by the way, I called it. You know who didn't call it? Connor Griffiths. Who'd he say? Who'd he say was going to win the title? I'll tell you who he said. He said it was going to be Ricochet. Nah. It was Adam Cole. That's right. I predicted it. I said it. After that ridiculously awesome ladder match with surefire main eventers in the future. Oh my God. That's like a basketball team of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, fucking, what's Steven plays for the Golden State Warriors?
See, I don't know anybody past the Lakers because you know they're awesome. Yeah, right? Who else matters?
I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name. He's fucking everywhere. Anyway, it's like, no. Not on this podcast. We are a racially sensitive podcast. Women have come a long way in professional wrestling. It's ridiculous that there have only been 5 black champions in the history of professional wrestling. I don't need that. Anyway, it's just like it's the team of the greatest ever, and they're all in the first match of the night. That's how good NXT is. Is that your opener? Okay. Oh boy, I better strap in for tonight. Next up, we got our women's title match. Shayna Baszler taking on Ember Moon. And guess what? Shayna Baszler, one of Ronda Rousey's BFFs, one of the 4 horsewomen of the UFC, fucking choked Ember Moon out. And Shayna Baszler is your new NXT Women's Champion. And it makes so much sense. Here's my problem with Ember Moon. Every wrestler she has faced is just so much more interesting than her. She doesn't do anything wrong. She's great. She's a great wrestler. There's that Asuka Ember Moon match at TakeOver 3, that Brooklyn TakeOver 3, the one I showed you guessed. Half of that good stuff was her. But Asuka, you can't ignore. You can't. I'm sorry. Asuka needs to win. Shayna Baszler needed to win. And I feel like Ember Moon is always finding herself in those things where it's like, I want good things for Ember Moon. But her opponent, I want to see as champion for life. And so now Shayna Baszler, who is so, oh man, so legit, so terrifying looking, so real, so unpredictable. She's champion, and I see nothing but great things. And now Ember Moon's on Raw, and it's like, okay, all right, cool. Can't wait to see Shayna Baszler tear it up in NXT with the women's division, take on fucking Kairi Sane, who is also more interesting than Ember Moon. Oh, man. And I want to like Ember Moon. Everything's there. They just don't execute it right. So, of course, Shayna Baszler is going to choke out Ember Moon. Of course it's going to happen because you haven't given me or the audience or anybody else a real reason to care about Ember Moon, because all Ember Moon is a finisher and an entrance. But she could be so much more if you got behind her as a character. But we can't even tell if she's supposed to be mystic. She just has a mystic entrance. But we can't even tell if it's on purpose or it just happens to be that way. So Baszler wins because Baszler is complete package. And Ember Moon, as this incomplete package, gets to go to Raw. Ugh. I'm not happy with this title change because I knew it meant Ember Moon going to Raw completely unfinished. And they put her on Raw in a division of women who are just main event ready all of the time. And I just don't think Ember Moon is there yet. That's why she's in NXT. That's why she's in developmental. She's not ready for she's not ready for main roster. She's a finisher and an entrance right now. And I've said it 2 times now. And I still believe it. And I'm not trying to talk trash about Ember Moon. It's just that's how it legitimately feels. To me as a fan, she's about to go into an arena of champions. Alexa Bliss is a champion. Ember Moon is not a champion. She's an NXT champion, but Alexa Bliss, title holder. Sasha Banks, title holder. Nia Jax, title holder. Asuka, title holder. Bayley, title holder. Now here's Ember Moon. Okay, all right. Good luck on Raw, Ember Moon. After that women's match, we have the tag team triple threat match for the tag team titles in NXT. The finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. You had Pete Dunne, who is awesome. Roderick Strong, who is awesome. Taking on the Authors of Pain, who are awesome. And the Undisputed Era with new NXT North American champion Adam Cole. He just wrestled a match. And his tag team partner, Kyle O'Reilly. And let me tell you something. A technical masterpiece was born, and the Authors of Pain happened to be there at the same time, who are not technical wrestlers. They are big, scary, slamming dudes. They will pick you up, and they will put you down very hard and very rough, and that's what they did. And the end of the match came. Pete Dunne hits Kyle O'Reilly with the bitter end, which is an amazing finisher. He hoists him up and he throws him in the air and they just land. He just chucks him, lets him fall. They spin in the air. God, Pete Dunne is awesome. So he hits Kyle O'Reilly with his finisher, and then Roderick Strong, his tag team partner, the white meat babyface, the technical kid, one of the best technical wrestlers in the industry. He's got a nice face. Look him up. Look him up. He's got that take home to your mother face. He's got that like trusting realtor face where you would buy the house from him. That's what Roderick Strong looks like. He looks like just a guy you can trust until Saturday night when he betrayed Pete Dunne, hitting the End of Heartache on him and placing Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era on top of Pete Dunne. So the Undisputed Era retain their tag team titles, and Roderick Strong puts the Undisputed Era armband on, and now Roderick Strong, the guy you could really trust, the family man, he just had a kid. He just had a son. And he betrayed everybody to join the Undisputed Era because Bobby Fish is injured and they need someone to be Kyle O'Reilly's tag team partner. So why not Roderick Strong? I actually think it's great. I mean, as soon as the Undisputed Era became a thing, every wrestling fan was waiting for Roderick Strong to turn heel and join them. It makes sense. It's good. It's good for Roderick Strong, who is a great heel. He's a great heel because he's got that face. He's got that face, and he's kind of got this nasally voice. Oh, so so you know, as a face, he's just like, I love my wife and I love my kid, and wrestling's just the best thing ever. Now imagine him as a heel. I don't like you. You're not good. You're not as good as I am. It's exciting. It's exciting stuff to watch. And Roderick Strong is the kind of wrestler who can pull that shit off. So the Undisputed Era retain their titles, and now Kyle O'Reilly holds the North American title. Well, not Kyle O'Reilly. Live television's hard, guys. Adam Cole is your North American champion, and the Undisputed Era are still your tag team champions. What's next, I wonder? Could it be the NXT championship? Yes, eventually. After the tag team match, we've got the NXT title match where Andrade Cien Almas. Ew. There was some salsa on that name. Taking on Aleister Black, formerly Tommy End, who is awesome. I've said awesome so many times about all these wrestlers. It's like the exact opposite of WrestleMania when I just finally talk about that. Man, I've been talking to the Cactus for a while now. I've been crushing this. I don't need you, Cactus. I don't need anybody. I'm on my own now until next week when Connor can be on the podcast. Anyway, if you've never seen an Aleister Black match, first off, the dude loves his kicks. He loves his strikes. He does a lot of moonsaults. He's a great technical wrestler, but his main thing is kicking and kneeing the shit out of you. And Andrade Cien Almas is a luchador. So he's jumping around the ring. He's doing technical stuff. He's flying around. And so this match was nonstop adrenaline. And it's like, I just couldn't breathe while I was watching it. And I was getting stressed out because I just want it to be over. Not because it's a bad match, but it's just like, I can't keep up sometimes, you know? Sometimes a wrestling match is so fast and so good that you're just like, I just need this to be done so I can remember what it's like to be alive again. Because in this moment, I'm just frozen. It's just me and this match, and it just seems like it's never going to end until Aleister Black kicked Andrade Cien Almas in the fucking face with a black mass and got the pin. 1, 2, 3. And Aleister Black is your new NXT champion, which makes the most sense in the world. He is like Finn Balor in the sense that you can make him the face of your company. His matches are always really good. He is a complete package wrestler from entrance to exit to the match, to his appearance, to the fact that when he kicks you in your fucking face and you lose, he sits down next to you, like he sits cross-legged down next to you, like, there, little tiny baby. that I just kicked in the face really, really hard. My name's Aleister Black, and it's all over now. Except he says it a little bit more Dutchy, because he's from Holland. So Aleister Black is your new NXT champion, and barring some dumb decision from Vince McMahon and company, Andrade Cien Almas is going to go to the main roster, and he's going to tear it up. He's so good. And he's so different from, like, when you say the word luchador, you usually think of a masked wrestler like El Cactus, who is still laying on the floor after that vicious attack on him by an unknown assailant. But he used to have a mask. He doesn't have the mask anymore, and he's got this edge to him, this really good, different edge, and it makes his matches exciting and different and awesome to watch. Check him out. Check out his matches with one of these next guys, because after that we had a grudge match, an unsanctioned match, where they come out in jeans and they have to sign an agreement that nothing they do to each other will hold the WWE liable. Oh, yeah. There's real blood in this match. You had Johnny Gargano, the heart of NXT, the true underdog story, taking on Tommaso Ciampa, the psycho killer, the Sicilian psycho, the guy with this really big bushy beard, no hair, and just this mean fucking face. He just looks mean and pissed off. And they used to be a tag team. They were DIY. They were this tag team of formerly independent wrestlers who were there to be job guys, and then the fans loved them, so they put them in a tag team, and then they went the distance. They went the distance. Their story was their bond. Their friendship was their tag team story. And it took them to holding the tag team titles above their head. They won them they won them in a great match. And it was a great moment. And then they lost them. They lost them to the Authors of Pain. And they could never get them back, no matter how hard they tried. And then Tommaso Ciampa got injured. And at the end of their last match, before Tommaso had to go in for surgery, he took one look at Johnny Gargano as they stood there, as the crowd chanted their names, because they're brothers, they're family. He took one last look at Johnny Gargano and said, "This isn't our moment. This is my moment." And he beat the shit out of Johnny Gargano. He beat him up. He killed him. He killed him. He murdered him in cold blood. I saw it happen. I saw a murder. Johnny Gargano was totally fine. He got back up eventually.
Oh my God!
But he broke his heart. And they stuck with that storyline. Johnny Gargano had to move out. He had to move out of their apartment they shared together because he got married to Candice LeRae. But storyline-wise, it's because they were no longer friends. It's because nobody liked them anymore. He's in their wedding photos. Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano's wedding. He's in the photos. He was Johnny Gargano's best man. And he turned his back on him. He was there the night Johnny Gargano lost his Loser Leaves Town match. After Johnny Gargano lost that match and had to leave NXT, he attacked him with a crutch. He beat the shit out of him with a crutch. Oh, no, I'm telling you. I'm being over the top here, but this was actually a very well-booked feud. And the crowd, oh my God, think about it. When you boo a bad guy in wrestling, it's kind of a boo, you suck. But I like you. No. People were like, fuck you, Tommaso. Fuck you, you traitor. Johnny Gargano is like the cutest little boy. He's like the cutest little puppy, and you stepped on him. You stepped on him and left him broken-legged in the rain, Tommaso. You monster. That's the kind of heat Tommaso was bringing, was hurt puppy heat. Just you fucking monster. You bastard. You bastard person. And Tommaso ate it all up because he's a great heel. He'd come out, get ready to cut a promo. People would just be booing him. He'd leave. Not saying one word. He'd go, yeah, okay. And he'd just go. It was great. It's great stuff. So they came out for their unsanctioned match. Lots of chairs, lots of ladders, lots of hurting each other, beating the shit out of each other all over the arena. It's an unsanctioned match. You know, okay. You know what the one rule of an unsanctioned match is? No. There's only two ways the match can end. Pinfall or submission. After that, whatever you want to do, you do. But the only way this match is going to end is a pinfall or a submission. And these guys duked it out. They duked it out all over the arena. And the crowd was eating it up. You had "You're a wanker" chants. This is New Orleans, and they're calling Tommaso Ciampa a wanker. That's exciting. Wrestling's great. Wrestling fans are great. Brutal spots all over. I mean, knees. Tommaso Ciampa loves those knees. He loves hitting them with those knees. The barer the knee, the bigger the head. It's just, oh, ow. Ow, ow, ow. The match ends eventually when Ciampa goes to hit Gargano with one of his knee braces because he just had knee surgery. So he goes to hit him with one of his braces. Gargano dodges it, puts him in the... I have to say the submission name out loud, and it's not going to feel great because I don't like it. Locks in the Gargano escape. It's a crossface. It's a crossface. He gets him in a crossface. And Ciampa can't get out. He can't get out of the submission, so he has to tap. And Johnny Gargano not only wins the match, but he gets to come back to NXT. Oh, yeah. And that's how NXT TakeOver ends. On nothing but great matches, high notes, and Johnny Gargano, the little wrestler who could, back in NXT where he belongs until he goes to the main roster. It was a really great TakeOver, guys. I'm being dramatic, but it was actually a really good one. You should check it out for sure. It's on the WWE Network, only $9.99. It might still be free because of WrestleMania. Not entirely sure. Check it out, though, for sure. And now... Brock Lesnar has re-signed with the WWE, and I accept it. Brock Lesnar has re-signed with the WWE, and I accept it. All right. WrestleMania 34 happened last night, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I would call it a frustrating WrestleMania, because on paper, you have really great matches. On paper, you have like the best WrestleMania you will ever see. And somehow, some way, Vince McMahon went, I can fuck it up. And in several instances, he did. He took it as a personal challenge. I'm going to fuck with this WrestleMania as much as I can because I'm Vince fucking McMahon. And he did it. So the show, the pre-show, it starts at the pre-show. It opens up with the 5th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I remember watching the first one happen because it happened at WrestleMania 30. And Cesaro won. And it felt like a real big deal. Like they were going to do huge things with Cesaro. Nope. And then the next year, Big Show won. And they didn't do anything with him. And the year after that, Baron Corbin won, and they didn't do anything with that. And then last year, Mojo Rawley won, and they didn't do anything with that either. So the Andre the Giant Battle Royale is mostly just a let's get all of the wrestlers who don't have storylines on the card. It's fine. It's cool. Just do something with your winner, please. That's what I like in wrestling is when you do things with the people who win. Unless their name is Brock Lesnar. So, Matt Hardy wins. If you haven't been watching wrestling, he's doing his broken Matt Hardy stuff, which is entertaining. If you do not like wrestling, you will not like the broken stuff because it's weird. And if you like wrestling, you might not like the broken stuff because it's weird. I like it and I don't. It has its moments. And at the same time, it is extra goofy. It's not for everybody. But he's doing it in the WWE, which is exciting. He won the match. He won the 4th annual Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Good for him. Good for his gimmick. I'm glad it's taken him places. Bray Wyatt, who he had been feuding with, came in to help him. So I guess Bray Wyatt and him are going to form a tag team of some sorts, which I'm sure is okay. You know who's literally, when I think of great gimmicks that happened in the last 3 or 4 years, the one that like stands out in my mind, like screams in my mind, is Bray Wyatt, who's kind of this cult, backwoods, like Cajun voodoo kind of guy. And the gimmick is so good, and he commits to it so well, and his promos are awesome, and he's literally, how do you fuck up this wrestler? I'll tell you how, because it happened. He loses every single match he has. He doesn't do a single goddamn thing, and you fuck with him nonstop. That's how you ruin Bray Wyatt. So now Bray Wyatt is in this obviously comedy tag team with Matt Hardy, as far as I know, because I'm not watching Raw right now, so I don't know what the plan is. But that's the look of where it's going. The only good thing I can think of that comes out of this is Bray Wyatt eventually turning heel again on Matt Hardy and them resuming their feud, which is not good, but it's better than Bray Wyatt turning into a fucking comedy act. Ugh. From watching his debut to watching him now, it's a bummer. It's a bummer as a Bray Wyatt fan. After that, we have the tournament finals for the vacant WWE Cruiserweight title match. It's Cedric Alexander taking on Mustafa Ali. Does that mean we got a follower? Yeah! Bringing in the money. Sit down and follow drive.
Wow, they were really happy with that match.
Well, they should be. The Cruiserweight, I mean, okay. I'm not happy the Cruiserweights are on the pre-show. I'm not happy that they only gave this match 12 minutes. I'm also not happy that Griff was right and Cedric Alexander won. But they got a 12-minute... The Cruiserweights, first off, did not open the show this year, which was nice. They actually waited until people were in their fucking seats to do the Cruiserweight match. And they got 12 minutes. That's good. That's nice. That's exciting. Good for them. Shit. Undertaker John Cena only got 2 minutes and 45 seconds, but the Cruiserweight match can go almost 13 minutes. That's good. That's the world we live in. Awesome. It wasn't as good as the matches they've had on 205 Live and Raw, but it was still a really decent match. It was exciting, and Cedric Alexander finally gets the title that he, was gonna win if Enzo Amore hadn't A, gotten sick, and B, been accused of rape. Oh yeah, no, there was this whole other storyline that they had planned, and then the champion got accused of rape, and the WWE was like, "Well, you're fired. Guess you still don't get to win that title, Cedric. You got to wait till WrestleMania." But what a plus! What a plus from all that. Not only do you have to pretend to bring Enzo Amore to a good match, but you also get to win the title at WrestleMania. Go you, Cedric. So Cedric is your new Cruiserweight champion. Hopefully, he'll probably feud with Drew Gulak because they need a heel. Although they'll probably turn Mustafa Ali heel. I don't want to see it happen. I love Mustafa Ali. I don't want to see him turn heel, but WWE sure love. If there's two things WWE loves, it's Brock Lesnar and foreign heels. Are you from a different country? No, but my parents are from Pakistan. Perfect! We'll make you a terrorist!
Oh my God.
Well, I don't want to be a terrorist. Fine! We'll make you a Middle Eastern restaurant owner! I'm Vince McMahon. I'm a genius. After that, we got the first ever Women's WrestleMania Battle Royale, formerly the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale, until someone, Snickers, went, "No, you can't name it after her. She did some things." And because a Raw superstar won the Men's Battle Royale, a SmackDown superstar had to win the Women's Battle Royale. And that woman happened to be Naomi. I wanted Becky Lynch, but it went to Naomi. That's fine. That's fine. Are they going to do anything with Naomi? I sure hope so. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do a single thing with Naomi. They're not going to. They'll probably put the title on her someday, but not anytime soon, because Charlotte, and she's going to take on Ronda Rousey, And there's Carmella with her money in the bank, so they just gave it to Naomi to give it to Naomi. Good for Naomi. Anyway, after the Women's Battle Royale, we had the triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental title. Seth Rollins took on Finn Balor and The Miz. A lot of really good spots here. Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on The Miz while The Miz was pinning Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins hit the blackout on The Miz while The Miz was on top of it. Was a very creative match. It was short. I think let me look it up. They only gave that match oh my God. Actually, it wasn't that short. I thought it was shorter. They gave it 15 minutes. It's a pretty long match. It's because all three of like their best superstars are in that match. So of course they're going to give it 15 minutes. It ends when, and here's the sad part, is both Connor and I were wrong. Seth Rollins walked out as champion. And then when they said Grand Slam winner, Seth Rollins, I went, oh yeah, because WWE loves their Grand Slams. Grand Slam, for those of you who don't know, are I've had the world title, the tag titles, and the mid-card title. So I have held all the belts. All the belts I can possibly win, I won them. Grand Slam.
And eggs and a side of pancakes.
Exactly. So Seth Rollins is now a Grand Slam champion. He deserves it. As soon as I saw that happen, I was like, fine with it. I wanted The Miz to win it, but I'm totally fine with Seth Rollins being the winner. He deserves to be seen in the same vein as a John Cena or a Randy Orton or an Undertaker. Seth Rollins is a top guy, and he deserves it. So good for him. I'm happy he won it. I'm sad it wasn't The Miz, and I'm kind of sad it wasn't Finn Balor. But honestly, that triple threat, any single one of those guys could have walked out champion, and I would have left happy with that match, as long as the match was good, and it was. After that, we have our SmackDown Women's title match. Asuka, undefeated, the best thing in the entire company, taking on Charlotte Flair, who is the women's division. She is. If you try to say any other woman in that division is better than Charlotte Flair, you are wrong. Unless that name is Asuka, then you are right. Except for tonight, because Charlotte Flair totally ended Asuka's undefeated streak. She made her tap out to the figure eight. It was a lot of good back and forth. Probably the best match technically on the card. And it was a solid match. And honestly, and Connor texted me after the match. It's weird saying my name. Connor texted me after the match. He was pissed. He was pissed off. So, and the thing about undefeated streaks is they are very tricky, because at some point they're going to have to lose. They're going to have to. And so I'm glad that they did it with Asuka now, rather than to Ronda Rousey, who, even though it's fine, I'm glad they gave it to the person they see as their women's division in Charlotte. That, I think that speaks volumes about Charlotte as a wrestler, that the company feels she is deserving of ending Asuka's undefeated streak. Because you know who ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak? Not CM Punk, not Daniel Bryan, not John Cena. Brock fucking Lesnar did. Brock Lesnar gets to end his streak. But luckily, Charlotte Flair gets to end Asuka's streak. So a wrestler in their company instead of a name gets to do it. Good. And I'm happy with the end. I'm glad that Carmella did not come out to cash in her Money in the Bank and steal the moment. They shook each other's hands, and it was a match of respect, and I think that's the best way it can go. After that, we have a fatal four-way for the WWE United States title. Bobby Roode taking on Rusev, taking on Jinder Mahal, taking on Randy Orton. This match was not nearly as long as the triple threat match. It was a total of 8 minutes. You have four wrestlers. And it's an 8-minute match, and I'm guessing it's 8 minutes because Randy Orton said, "Can I go home after the match?" Shit, let's make it 8 minutes. Awesome. All right, cool. I'm gonna go home after this match. Awesome. Cool. All right. So who's winning? Jinder. Who's Jinder? Oh, you're Jinder. Oh yeah, we did wrestle each other. All right, yeah. Okay, cool. I get to go home after this match, right? Awesome. Okay. And guess who won the match? Jinder Mahal. He is your new WWE United States champion. It was not a happy Rusev day. Good for Jinder. I don't really know where they go. I mean, it proves me wrong. I legitimately did not see anything for Jinder after his WWE title loss to AJ Styles. But I'm glad. Good for him. Hopefully they do something good with it. He'll probably feud with, I imagine, Bobby Roode for a while. I imagine that's probably the plan going forward is feud with Bobby Roode and Rusev, because you can't ignore how over Rusev is. Everybody loves him. I went to a show in fucking Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Rusev comes out, and Rio Rancho is not a smart town. They don't chant the things you're not supposed to chant. No, and the minute Rusev comes out, everybody goes crazy chanting Rusev Day. Rusev is unignorably over, and the WWE is ignoring it. And in the WWE documentary on Rusev, they're going to talk about it like they talked about it in the Daniel Bryan DVD, like they talked about in the CM Punk DVD. You know what I've noticed about a lot of WWE like greats is the WWE ignores them for so long until they're like, no, you can't ignore me anymore. And then like, oh, all right, we'll put the title on you. You made us not ignore you. But John Cena just comes into a room with Vince McMahon and is like, I want to be the best no matter how much it takes. And Vince McMahon's like, all right, I'm going to put the title on you forever. Till Brock Lesnar comes around, and then I'm not going to put the title on you anymore. I'm going to put it on Brock Lesnar. And Roman Reigns, maybe. Unless he's facing Brock Lesnar, and then I'm just going to keep the title on Brock Lesnar. I love Brock Lesnar. I don't know why, but I love him. Ah. After that, we have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon taking on the team of Kurt Angle and debuting in her first match ever at WrestleMania, Ronda fucking Rousey. And that match got 20 minutes. This was a 20-minute match. And it's probably the most consistently booked match on the fucking card. Every other match had this ending, but this was the only match where it was like, no, it needs to end this way because Triple H is in the match and he's probably like, no, I'm not doing that. Ronda Rousey puts Stephanie McMahon in an armbar. Stephanie taps, and that's exactly what happened. Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle won. Ronda Rousey won her debut match. That's the only way that match could have ended. If you ended that match any other way, it would have been stupid. It would have been a terrible end. Even if Kurt Angle got the pin for his team, it would have been a horrible end to this match. It would have made no sense. WWE, someone, and I hope there was a fight about it, someone said, no, it has to be this way because it ended that way. And it was like, good. Thank God, you guys got it. Because in the next match, after this match that I'm going to talk about, they had a filler match. The Bludgeon Brothers took on the New Day, took on the champions, the Usos, for the SmackDown titles. The Bludgeon Brothers won. Kind of a short match. Obviously, we all knew going in the Bludgeon Brothers were going to win. Because in the next, so after the really well-booked Ronda Rousey match, we finally got the dream match of The Undertaker versus John Cena. This is a dream match. This is a goddamn dream match. Okay? This is the face of your company for the last 10 plus years, taking on arguably the greatest superstar in the entire history of your company for the last 20 plus years. And it's a case of what do you want? I know that Undertaker can't wrestle like he used to. I know he can't take bumps like he used to. I know these things. But with the way they're building the matchup, with John Cena coming out every Raw, calling him out, not getting answered, calling him out, not getting answered, to the point where last week he's like, this is your last chance. If you don't answer me, I'm just going to go to WrestleMania as a fan. No answer. John Cena's going to WrestleMania as a fan. And he did. He came out, he had a beer, he took photos with the fans, he sat down next to some people. It was cool. During the pre-show, he gets word that Undertaker's there and he wants a match. Okay, cool. John Cena runs to the back. We're going to finally get that dream match. And honestly, it could have been great. It could have been amazing. It could have been one of the greatest WrestleMania experiences ever. Undertaker wouldn't have to do a lot of bumps. He'd have to do some. He wouldn't. And John Cena could tell this really great story about John Cena finally going to take on the dead man and what's probably going to be the Undertaker's last match. Hopefully, I swear to God, this better be his last match if this is what they're going to do. Because in a match that went 2 minutes and 45 seconds, Undertaker destroyed John Cena. This is John fucking Cena. You can't see me. C-Nation. Hustle, loyalty, respect. The Marine, motherfucker. He was in the Marine. He was your champion for a decade. He buried the Nexus. He buried them. He got to do that. And at the end, he went, yeah, I don't think that was the right call. No, it wasn't, John. It wasn't. But the fact that you got to do that speaks volumes about you as a wrestler in our company. And he can only get a 2-minute match from The Undertaker where he gets destroyed? He just gets destroyed in 2 minutes and 45 seconds and he's John fucking Cena? Oh, man, I got to tell you guys. I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm sure there are some people listening right now who are going to go, no, I don't want to ever see that. There better be a year-long title reign in John Cena's future. Because if this is the dream match and this is the best you could give me, I didn't want it. I could have lived my entire life never seeing John Cena take on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. If that was the best you could do, was a 2-minute, 45-second squash match, no thank you. No thank you. I recognize wholeheartedly that John Cena should have taken on The Undertaker 10 years ago. 5 years ago. But really? You think John Cena, Undertaker, just seeing it happen is enough for me to go, yeah, it's not. I want good matches. I want matches that tell a good story. John Cena spending almost a month calling out The Undertaker and The Undertaker not saying a thing, only for Undertaker to show up eventually and just crush him in less than 5 minutes. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that as a fan. I don't appreciate that one bit. I want this to truly be The Undertaker's last match. You know why I liked WrestleMania 33? It's because when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker in that less than stellar match, at the end of the night, The Undertaker's looking around at all of these people standing up and applauding, assuming this is Undertaker's last match. Assuming that last year's WrestleMania was the last time they're going to see Undertaker wrestle. They're all standing up. They're all applauding, going, thank you, Taker, over and over again. I'm saying thank you, Taker. I hashtagged it and put it on Facebook, thank you, Taker. He turns around. He's looking at all these people. This is no longer the dead man. This is the man. This is the actual man behind the character. Taking this moment in, knowing that this is it. He will not ever wrestle again. And he breathed. There's this moment where he just goes. And just to see The Undertaker do that was like I got legit goosebumps from that moment right there. And he starts taking off his gloves and he starts taking off his jacket. And then he takes off the hat. He takes off his infamous hat and he lays them all in a pile. He lays them all in a pile in the ring. He goes out of the ring. He walks over to his real life wife and kisses her, and then he walks off into the sunset. That's how you close WrestleMania 33, and that's a great way to close WrestleMania 33, and that's a great way to close off The Undertaker. It was his yard. It's not his yard anymore. Time to move on. And then you bring him back to squash John Cena in 2 minutes. Why? Why? You don't need him anymore. Fuck. Oh, well, I guess The Undertaker's not done. We're going to see him wrestle a billion more WrestleManias because all he's got to do is go a minute. And it'll be fine and no one will complain until he dies in the ring giving somebody a chokeslam. No, I'm pissed. I have legitimate beef with that match. I don't think it should have been done. I don't want to see it. If anything, that would be I want my money. That would be the I want my money back match because wow, what a waste! What a waste of time that you didn't have to do. It's frustrating. That's the frustrating part of WrestleMania to me. This WrestleMania was you didn't have to do that at all. But then out came Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and they took on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and Daniel Bryan won his return match. Daniel Bryan, after 2 years of being told you'll never be able to wrestle again, not only wrestled again, but he won. And Sami Zayn tapped out to the yes lock. He tapped out. So Daniel Bryan is back. I don't know what future holds for him as SmackDown general manager. I mean, okay, here's what's going to happen. Shane McMahon is going to turn heel on him, and he's going to fire him as general manager. There we go. That's what's going to happen. So Daniel Bryan can go back to being a full-time competitor in the WWE, and he can take that title from AJ Styles, because you know who did not win at WrestleMania this year? I'll get to that in a second. Next up, we have the Raw Women's title match. Nia Jax taking on Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax won. Good for her. I don't have a problem with Nia Jax winning. I have every problem with this match going on after Charlotte Asuka. That match, like these two should have been switched, but whatever. I don't book for that company, but if I did, I'll tell you this much: that Undertaker match would have been longer than 2 minutes. But good for Nia Jax. I think it's they did this whole storyline where Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are body shaming her because she's a big girl. She's a big curvy girl, and she's Samoan, which adds to the bigness. I feel like there's big, and then there's Samoan big. But it's good. Alexa Bliss gets Nia Jax gets the title. I don't see her holding it for that long because Alexa Bliss is the best fucking heel in the company. So I imagine Alexa Bliss will probably get the title off of her sooner rather than later. After that, we have the much anticipated, much hyped WWE title match. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, taking on the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura. And it did not live up to the hype. And it's not their fault. And it's not even the WWE's fault. When you build something up to this imagination level where it's like, oh man, imagine like AJ Styles, he'll do this 720-degree flip standing still, and he'll just do this flip and he'll fly up, and then Shinsuke Nakamura will also fly up and he'll knee him in the face at the same time, and it'll be like, oh my god, what a spot. If you build up a match to anime level of action, it's not going to live up to the hype. It was still a really good match, and they gave it a ton of time, 20 minutes. That's more than they've given other wrestlers who really deserved it. And then shockingly, and I called it, Connor Griffiths didn't call it. I called it. AJ Styles retained. He hit the Styles Clash on Nakamura in the middle of the ring for the pin. And he is still your WWE champion, which hopefully means he's not going to Raw, because SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built. He belongs on SmackDown. SmackDown needs AJ Styles to be a good show. The only reason SmackDown has been watchable is because of AJ Styles. Nakamura's been on it the entire time, and I love Nakamura, but I'm not watching SmackDown for Nakamura. I'm watching it for AJ Styles. AJ Styles needs to be their champion. End of story, end of discussion. But Nakamura did not feel that way, because at the end of the match, they got up, they stood tall, they shook each other's hands, but then Nakamura turned on him. That's right. Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the most over guys in the company. He does this. It's really exciting. The crowd cheers his name. He is now a bad guy. Now a bad man. And he hit AJ with a 3, 2, 1. Kinshasa! There we go. He hit him with his knee finisher. And so it looks like we'll probably begin that feud for a while, which I think is good. I honestly think their next match will probably be a lot better than the WrestleMania match. And everyone will be really happy. Good for them. Then we have the Raw tag team title matches. Okay, guys, WWE, sidebar, Vince. You gotta stop having so many titles, man. You have a SmackDown women's tag title. You have a Raw women's tag title. Not tag title. I've been saying tag title this entire time. You have a SmackDown women's title. You have a Raw women's title. You have a SmackDown tag title. You have a Raw tag title. You have an Intercontinental Championship. You have a United States title championship. You have a WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And you have a Universal Championship. Got too many titles, man. You gotta get rid of one of them. Get rid of one. Oh, and you have the Cruiserweight Championship. God, too many titles. I've been saying title too much. My jaw is tired from how many titles I've had to talk about. Vince, make my job easier. Make your job easier. Make Booker's jobs easier, okay? Get rid of one title. All right, sidebar done. Next up, we had the Raw Tag Team title matches. Braun Strowman and a mystery partner. We don't know who he is. He's a mystery. Taking on The Bar. They set the bar because they are the bar. So they come out, the Bar come out, they do this whole Mardi Gras theme. It was really fun. And then they're waiting for Braun. Braun comes out and he says that his tag team partner is not in the locker room. It's not any returning wrestler. It's a fan in the crowd. So he goes into the audience. He goes into this WrestleMania audience and he just starts looking around and then he finds this kid who's probably like 12 at the oldest. His name's Nicholas. He's got this real long hair. One day he's going to be an adult looking at that going, I can't believe my hair was that long. I can't believe I don't want to spoil it just yet. So basically the kid the kid is standing in the ring with Braun Strowman, this 7-foot monster man, and The Bar. He's a kid. He's an actual child. This is not a gimmicked child. This is a real child. Standing in the ring with these wrestlers, and Braun Strowman just tells him to sit on the apron, let Braun do all the work, and Braun did all of the work except for one thing. One thing. He tagged in Nicholas. Nicholas gets in, and then Braun Strowman just tags himself back in, and then he gets the pin. So you know who your new tag team champions are? Braun Strowman and this fucking kid. This fucking kid named Nicholas. We don't know his last name. We don't get to know it yet. But here he is, and he's a tag team. He's a WWE recognized tag team champion. If you scroll through the list of Raw tag team champions for the rest of time, you will stop at 2018 and go, Braun Strowman and Nicholas? Who the fuck is Nicholas? And he won't have a Wikipedia page. He won't have a wrestler page. He won't have a WWE alumni page. He's just this kid who also happens to be a WWE referee's son. But we don't know that. We don't know that. We're not using the internet to research things. So after that very feel-good moment for Braun Strowman and this fucking kid, next up comes the WWE Universal title match. And it was not a great match, guys. I'm not going to lie. It was pretty boring. Brock Lesnar was in I don't give a shit mode. And Roman Reigns, he's a good wrestler, but he's not going to bring Brock Lesnar out of I don't give a shit mode. It's Brock Lesnar. You get Brock Lesnar out of I don't give a shit mode. You try and do that. I can't try and do that. I'm not going to try and do that. I can't even imagine what's going through Roman Reigns' head. And there's a little bit of back and forth, but Lesnar's just fucking hurting. He's just dominating Roman Reigns. He's just beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't stand a chance. The crowd starts chanting CM Punk. They start chanting this is awful. They start chanting boring. The crowd's not feeling this match one tiny bit. Brock Lesnar hits a whole bunch of German suplexes, some belly-to-belly suplexes, and then at one point he just starts taking his gloves off and he just starts busting open Roman Reigns legit. He just starts punching him in the head for real. No gloves, just bare knuckle. He starts elbowing him in the head. It's a bloody mess. Roman Reigns is pouring blood. Reigns hits a few spears. Brock Lesnar kicks out. And then Roman Reigns loses to Brock fucking Lesnar with an F5. And Brock Lesnar is still your WWE Universal Champion. And that's how WrestleMania 34 ends, guys, with a bloody Roman Reigns standing around, and the crowd's not really reacting to him, which has always been his problem. Vince McMahon wants him to be the top guy, but the crowd's not feeling it anytime he tries. And Brock Lesnar, who I would be surprised if he showed up next week at all, still gets to hold your top belt. And that's WrestleMania 34, guys. Like I said, it wasn't a bad WrestleMania. It wasn't a great WrestleMania. It was frustrating. A lot of decisions that were made that, as a fan, all I can do is disagree with them. I can't sit there and shit on the product. I can't sit there and go, well, I would have done it better. I don't want to do fantasy booking. I don't believe in fantasy booking. I have ideas that I enjoy. But personally, I feel that fantasy booking is a waste of time. It's a waste of space. I don't want to bitch about WWE's booking. But Brock Lesnar? Why? What is this love affair with him? He doesn't move ratings. He doesn't move merchandise. He doesn't move things. It's proven. These are proven things that he does not do that WWE seems to think he does. It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. Wrestling is a frustrating art form to love sometimes. So that's it, guys. God damn. I can talk forever. I'm great. El Cactus was great. I don't think we were going to have time for the other segment we were going to do. Sorry to my guest. Sorry to my guest for coming out, getting ready for her segment, but we went almost the full 2 hours like I wanted to, like I said we were going to do. I took that as a challenge. Sure, my tag team partner was savagely attacked backstage last night by an unknown assailant. And sure, El Cactus was dead weight, but I did it. I'm the Iron Man of professional wrestling podcasts. That's my moniker. That's right. I want a belt. Dylan, Scott, Zach, if you're listening, I want a belt. I want an Iron Man of podcasting belt. That's what I want. Thank you, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the followers we got. For Connor Griffiths, who unfortunately couldn't be here, and myself, I am Connor Lee Bradley. This was Sit Down and Pile Drive. I'm going to work on an outro phrase. Have a good night, guys. Thank you very much.